In the sleepy semi-rural village of Great Blakenham, 5 miles north of Ipswich, a transformation is set to take place. This is the former Blue Circle cement works known as Mason's Quarry, which has stood redundant since 1999. The site spans 350 acres of brownfield land and sits beside an active landfill site. It's a serious challenge for any developer. So, what do its owners have in store? Another Eden project? A new business park? Well, no, it's going to be SnOasis. A £300 million project which will transform the former quarry into the world's largest indoor real snow ski complex. Developer Onslow Suffolk Limited plans to create a centre of winter sports excellence. The main ski slope will stand 100 metres high, 80 metres wide and 500 metres long. There'll be a covered ice rink, bobsleigh tracks, speed skating and rollerblading tracks, together with a full range of facilities including a hotel and conference centre and National Winter Sports Academy to nurture British athletes. So, how did plans for the site come about?
We bought it really not knowing what we're going to do with it. It was a redundant piece of land. It was a regeneration project, clearly. There was hope of perhaps 200 houses on the other side of the road, and we always looked at this as a leisure site. I've been involved in leisure before. Thorpe Park was one of my projects and a couple of golf courses. So we bought it with an open mind, really. And then two guys turned up at my agent's office looking for a quarry where they could build a snow dome. My agent and a lot of others thought they were crazy and thought I was crazy for listening to it. The fact is, there's 50 metres drop here into a redundant quarry, and they need 100 metres height for the building. And 50 metres is far better than 100 metres. So we're 50 metres out of the ground this end and 50 metres into the ground the other end. So it went together rather well.
SnOasis could boost the local economy by £60 million each year, so it's a fantastic opportunity for the area. Yet, the conventional economic benefits are not the only elements to this scheme. The developer is committed to sustainable development and as such is equally attentive of delivering both social and environmental benefits as well.
Well, we're totally committed to sustainability. We've a sustainability expert on board with us amongst our team, and I hope she'll tell you something more about that. But we're very excited by the reuse of energy. The whole scheme is being designed currently with sustainability in mind. Green products, local products, particularly solar and other forms of energy. We do see a phase further on when we hope to generate energy ourselves here. But we should be taking energy from next door, our friends at the landfill site. They're producing something like 4 megawatts of power at the minute, going to 7 megawatts. And that's as much as we need. But as I say, reuse of the heat, which will come out of the refrigeration plant, would actually entirely heat the village and our project.
My role has been to take a complete overview of the project and report directly to Onslow Suffolk Limited. If you like, I've been the grit in the oyster of the project, asking questions of the design team, questioning design decisions, so to make sure that we get the best, most sustainable project out at the end. My whole role is about closing environmental loops to make sure that we recycle, reuse, refurbish as much as we can, and also to raise awareness of the project team and of the community about sustainability and gain commitment for it.
To determine the sustainability credentials of SnOasis, the project team applied CEDA's sustainability checklist. The checklist is broken down into 10 sections ranging from community and business through to transport and energy. At the design outline stage, they have a score of best practice. Transparency and openness in decision-making are at the heart of achieving sustainable development. The team proposed to develop an external reference group to achieve this.
Onslow Suffolk Limited don't just want to talk about sustainability, they want to deliver sustainable development. The external reference group is one of the ways of achieving transparency and openness which are at the heart of sustainability, and by involving local authorities, the Wildlife Trust, a number of individuals from the community, we believe that we can achieve this partnership working and transparency of decision making. An analogy for the external reference group would be a minerals aftercare group who meet regularly to discuss how the aftercare is going and what needs to be reviewed to achieve good aftercare and restoration. In this case, the external reference group will receive reports, they will visit the site, they will intervene, they will question to ensure that sustainable development is delivered at SnOasis.
Best practice in relation to sustainable development will alter over the life of the project. Because of this, the company have committed to a process of regular review of both development plans and operational practices to ensure continual improvement where possible. This will be achieved through the mechanism of a sustainability management system.
The sustainability management system is an advance over normal practice. Normal best practice, people would be familiar with environmental management systems under ISO 14001. Onslow Suffolk Limited intend to go one step further and have a whole-scale sustainability management system of which this external reference group forms part. The sustainability management system is designed to achieve continual improvement in practice so that we maintain best practice, knowing that the definition of best practice will change over the operational life of the programme. Sustainability management system will take into account all of the resource use, all of the materials and waste, all of the community angles of the project, so economic, social and environmental issues will all be taken into account under this management system to achieve sustainable development best practice.
It took 2 transit vans to deliver the planning application to Mid Suffolk District Council. There were 1,000 lever arch files. There have only been 3 other leisure projects of equal magnitude: the Eden project, Wembley Stadium and the Millennium Dome. Given the scale of the proposals, very few objections were made against the application. This can be attributed to the extensive public consultation undertaken.
We've had full public consultation. We've held 2 full exhibitions here, one last year, one this year. This year we had 2,500 people come and see what we were proposing. We had a visitors book signed by 700 of those people. We had 5 or 6% of people that expressed concern. Half of 1% said no, and the rest of them just want it to happen, but soon.
We view the consultation process very much as an ongoing process. After the application was submitted and the various copies of the documentation were passed to the statutory consultees such as the Environment Agency, English Nature, the Highways Authority and local groups such as town councils and parish councils, we have met with these groups to try and overcome any issues that they might have. For example, some of the local villages were concerned about traffic generation, and our highways consultant has carried out further work to try and see if there are alternative solutions to those that we set in place initially. Our engineers have recently met with the Environment Agency to reconsider some of the drainage solutions and see if there are alternative designs which would overcome issues that the Environment Agency have raised.
As part of the planning process, an environmental impact assessment was undertaken.
The environmental impact assessment was carried out over several months, and during that process the consultants, looking at their various issues, came across problems that needed to be mitigated against. For example, the ecologists discovered greater crested newts in some of the water bodies within the quarry, and as these are a protected species, a mitigation area was required for them. In the original scheme, SnOasis incorporated an 18-hole golf course. So by reducing the golf course to 9 holes, this allowed an area for mitigation of the newts and other wildlife found within the quarry. Another example is, as the landscape architect carried out his visual assessment, a balloon was flown to the anticipated height of the hotel, But as it could be seen from considerable distances, it was decided to reduce the height of the hotel, which again was impacting on the design of the scheme.
So, the ongoing consultation process has already had a significant impact in shaping the scheme, and all these elements are incorporated into the architect's designs.
There was 4 key objectives to the brief. Firstly, to create a regional significant tourist destination that would also act as a centre for winter sports excellence. It also required high quality tourism accommodation and facilities. And it's also needed to be an exemplar in sustainability and regeneration terms, as it required the remediation, shall I say, of an existing quarry.
To achieve these objectives, the main facilities proposed are organised in the master plan into 6 principal zones, with the main elements of the brief being accommodated within 4 of these zones.
There were a number of challenging aspects to design, not least of which is the complex nature of some of the buildings that are involved. But the most complex aspect was the creation of a master plan, a coherent master plan that could actually deal with a number of aspects. The first aspect being creating an environment that was suitable for athletes to enjoy but be able to do serious training within, whilst also accommodating visitors on a daily basis or a long-term basis to actually utilise the facilities, recreation facilities, as opposed to training, and in an enjoyable atmosphere. The business case presented its own challenge in its own right, in respect that the 3 main users of the facility, that's the athletes, the resort and day visitors, are interdependent on each other. The world-class facilities are required for the athletes obviously to train, but are not sustainable without the commercial use of the facilities by the visitors themselves.
The unique physique of the site was also carefully embraced.
All sites have constraints, but perhaps the quarry at Great Blakenham has more than its fair share. Problems with groundwater, major changes in levels, unstable quarry faces, and in particular the narrowness of the site created a number of logistical problems with the planning of the sites. The site, however, was chosen after a long process of attempting to find such a site for 2 specific reasons. One was the fact that it was a major quarry of a major size in respect to it's 50 metres deep, which was perfect from what the use we were looking for, and allowed a majority of the actual ski slope to actually be accommodated, but also in a very dramatic setting. But the second point was because of its accessibility. It's adjacent to a major highway network, the A14 in this case, but also there's a rail link potentially available in Great Blakenham itself.
Sustainable objectives will factor greatly in the design and operation of the individual buildings themselves.
The internal climate control within the buildings will be controlled with a fundamental aim of minimising energy consumption. Where possible, natural ventilation will be used, and building physics in respect of the mass of the building, the orientation of the building, will basically assist in controlling the temperatures. A number of the buildings in the development require all year round cooling, and we are going to maximise the insulation value of the fabric to minimise that cooling load, whilst also reusing the heat, the byproduct of the cooling facility, for the rest of the development.
Energy consumption within SnOasis will be continually monitored and controlled by a building management system. This will ensure the correct internal environmental conditions are controlled and will also aid benchmarking and future improvements to the site's overall energy consumption. The construction phase is potentially a very sensitive time. Until this point, the public's relationship with the project has been architects' drawings, consultation and press releases. The construction phase will deliver the physical reality.
If any concerns are held locally, it is about the impact of traffic. Of course, we're going to bring 1 million people here, and there will be added transport implications. But frankly, more concern is shown about the construction period, when there'll be deliveries and men coming to work the whole day, every day for 2.5 years. Our facilities managers will be able to prohibit people from passing through certain areas. Sproughton is the big pinch point here, and there will be a total ban on our transport passing through that village.
In order to ensure minimum disruption, the construction logistics are very carefully planned.
Wilson James are one of the UK's leading logistics suppliers, and we work on major projects such as Terminal 5, have delivered Tate Modern, Paternoster Square, and some very high level demonstrable projects in the field of modern logistics. SnOasis is a project, massive project, that demands the need for integrated processes and practices across the site. And Wilson James' job in the logistics process fulfills a whole range of services that helps to integrate all of the interfaces on this project, be it from supply chain management all the way through to the physical welfare and management of the workforce themselves.
The primary function of the logistics supplier is to deliver planned reliability, productivity and efficiency throughout the entire project and in a sustainable manner.
Sustainable construction for this project is extremely key and a major focus. The three main elements are economic, social and environment. Economics, our practices, the lean construction processes that we have applied on other projects that will be fully applied on this project, are imperative to the delivery of a sustainable project that is delivered on time at the right price in the most rationalised format. In terms of social inclusion, we are looking for local employment. We will be bringing people to the site. We'll be looking to upskill and to introduce people into the working arena, which then can then be transferred, hopefully, to other projects around the region. The other element of the social is looking after the locality and making sure that we're not causing any disruption. If anything, we look to almost enhance the area by the use of some of the techniques that will be applied throughout the programme. Environmentally, we'll be looking to make sure that we minimise waste, from packaging all the way through to transportation, CO2 emissions, all of the elements by, again, reducing. The key to all of the sustainable aspects of this project is the level of pre-planning that is going on now and has been going on for a long time prior to the project starting.
The biggest challenge now facing the team is to secure planning permission. Once that's achieved, the transformation can commence.
The SnOasis development will be a total experience. It's a real village set in dramatic scenery. When people approach the site, they'll be able to see the landmark structure of the ski slope from some distance. When you enter the site, you're still probably 1.5 kilometres away from the facilities themselves, having to travel between valleys and gorges to actually approach the facilities and eventually build up the drama and the expectation as you arrive at the village centre itself. When you arrive at the village centre, it's everything you would expect of an alpine resort. It's the real thing.
My main aim now is to see work start this year, to see work finished in 2007, to see it open in one fell swoop to the public, to bring at least 3,000 jobs